Today on Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, I don't care how, figure out how to keep Ronnie's bat in the lineup every single day. Who's the most likely offensive lineman to not start for the Atlanta Falcons? And boy, did I find something that is 180 degrees opposite from one another in NBA coverage. All that and more. It's Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery today on Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into another edition of Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. We ask you to head over to youtube.com. That way you can find us there. Put Locked On Sports Atlanta in the browser and search us and find us and subscribe to our ever-growing YouTube page. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. I always read through the comments that you all have out there, so let us know what you think and have to say. Also, follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. Good night for the Braves. They found a way to get a win. They were only 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. Now, I'm just trying to think. Let's see. If you watch the game, getting a hit, knocking in a run, making things happen, stealing a bit, who could that have been? Oh, yeah, that's right. Ronnie was back in the lineup last night. So he had missed, 5 games because of the groin strain. Didn't have to go to the IL. We got good news about all of that. And as projected, if he was healthy enough, he would play against the Brewers last night. And he did. Comes up, leads off the game with a single. He got to third, didn't score, but he got to third. He's stealing bases. He's stealing bases in the 8th inning. He's doing this. He created one of the first run for the Braves. It was an error on the third baseman, but guy had to try to make a play, and he couldn't on a ball. And all I can tell you is when Ronnie's in the game, it's chaos for the other team. And so this is my new mantra. I don't care how. I don't care if Ronnie has to DH every game the rest of the year. You have to put his bat in that lineup every night. If that means that Marcell Ozuna plays 140 games out in left field, and I have to put Demerit and Arcia and every vagabond outfielder in the world out in right field just to keep Ronnie's bat in the lineup, that's what I'll do. And this is where it's going to get interesting because, first off, let's look at today. Today's getaway day for the Braves. So it's a 1:10 start for the Braves. So is Ronnie going to play an afternoon game right after a night game after missing 5 games over 6 days? I'll be curious. But listen, he can DH. And if that's what his role has to be, I understand how valuable he is as a fielder and how much better he makes your outfield defense. Can I tell you, though, I'm not sacrificing his bat to keep him out in the field, say, 3 out of every 4 games. At this point, he showed you last night that with the chaos that he creates for the other team's pitching staff, the pressure that he puts on the other team's defense, the fact that he finds a way to take extra bases and put himself either in scoring position or at third multitudes of times, is his value to stand up in the batter's box and take 4 hacks at it is way more valuable than anything else that can go on. And if that means, and I understand, I'm being a little over the top with all this, but I want to stress the point that I thought when he got hurt, I thought leading into this, getting back in and recovering and all this kind of stuff, I thought they could have DH'd him a little bit more to keep him active, but also not stress him out in the field. Because I really do believe that the groin injury came from the aggressiveness that he had to be out in the field. Again, go back and watch that Boston game. Running over toward the foul line and had to make a big catch over there, running back toward the wall to make a big catch. He plays, again, an aggressive defensive style of baseball. I'm not going to say reckless because that's, again, guys diving all over the place when they don't have to and things like that, or running into walls and stuff like that they don't have to. But he plays an aggressive style of defense. And if I have to slow that down to make sure that he can be aggressive in the batter's box and stay in the batter's box, and then I'll let him be my stallion when he gets on the bases. I mean, he steals more bases than their team combined at this point. And he's always finding a way to take an extra base. The Mother's Day double from Olsen, and he scores. Last night, tagging up on a play to get an extra base and put them in. Now, look, the Braves offense has got to figure out some things. And thank God, at least Ozuna, had a home run last night and had a hit with a guy in scoring position. But they were, again, like 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So that's a them problem. That's an Olsen, Ozuna, Riley, Duvall, Dansby, that Albies, that's all of them thing that they have to figure out. But boy, you can just watch this team and this lineup when Ronnie is in there and he's on the base pass, and how it changes up how teams, are on their heels defensively, and the chaos that it creates, and just pitchers being distracted. There's just so many things that Ronnie provides to this offense that you can't sit him. And I mean this. If I have to play, if my options are to play Marcell Ozuna 140 games in left field, and I've got Arcia and Demerit and Heredia and whatever cavalcade of Hammond-Eggers out there in right field, just to make sure Ronnie's bat is in the lineup every day, brother, that's what I got to do. And that's called managing. I mean, that's putting out, because the Braves are an offensive team. The Braves are built as an offensive team. They have as deep a lineup as anybody in the game. They do two things typically really well. They have a deep lineup, and they play, usually really good defense, especially infield defense. They're a really good defensive team on the infield. And you saw that on display last night. They made play after play after play after play. But if I have to sacrifice for the good of what my team is, it's going to be Ronnie not playing as much in the outfield until I feel like, if that means for a month or two, if I have to just hold him back a little bit defensively, play him here, play him there, but I don't play him any consistency whatsoever. And I'm telling you, even though it's an afternoon game after a night game, and even though he's just coming back from injury, I'm going to DH him again today. Unless he tells me that he can't step in the batter's box and give me 4 cuts at it, then I'm not going to play. Short of that, I'm going to write his name in that lineup every day at the top of the order, and I'm going to, figure out what position. It might say RF. I might have DH in there. I don't care. But you have to keep him in this lineup, and he shows you time and time again, it is a dramatic difference when he's out there and the havoc that he creates. So, listen, you can get frustrated and be upset about Marcell Ozuna playing left field and how bad he is. Who cares? If that's what I have to do to make sure that Ronnie's bat is in the lineup every day, day in and day out, I promise you, you'll feel better by the end result and the Braves actually winning some games. All right, when we get back, which of the Falcons, shall I say, poor offensive lineman is most in jeopardy of not starting this season? We'll talk about that next. It's Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.